Only two, the Cadillac DeVille and the Cadillac Brome. $2,000 cold, hard cash back. Olds doesn't have it, Buick doesn't have it, you can't get it on the Lincoln Town Car. Only two cars offer $2,000 cash back, and only one place, your local Twin Cities Cadillac dealer.
You are watching WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul. All today's news with Mike Walcher, Debbie Ely. Dr. Walt Lyons has weather. Tom Hanneman has sports. And now, this is the Weekend Report.
The pictures and the sounds tell the story. And the Minnesota Twins have pledged to go all the way.
Saying thanks just isn't enough. We're going to bring the flag home with us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Minnesota Twins beat the Kansas City Royals 8-1, clinching a tie for the American League West Division title.
We go right to Tom Hanneman in the Sports Center for a look at how the Twins did it this afternoon. Tom?
Well, Mike, in a word, it was convincing. That was the way they did it. The way the Twins looked this afternoon, there wasn't even a hint of pennant pressure. They looked like a team in total control, a team that had just beaten their closest rival 8-1. Twins fans had an indication that things might go well in the first inning. George Brett grounding to Gary Gaetti, who threw to Al Newman at second. Newman, not conceding a run at the plate, throws home to nip Willie Wilson trying to score. Twins bats got going in their half of the first. Kent Herbeck launched this shot into the football press box. This shot came on the heels of back-to-back blasts by Kirby Puckett and Gary Gaetti. Twins scored 5 runs in the first. And the last out rightfully belonged to starter Bert Blyleven. Pitching on 3 days' rest, he threw a 5-hitter after racing Frank White for the final out. Blyleven and the rest of the Twins soaked up the adulation from the nearly 53,000 fans, giving them a send-off to remember.
We clinched a tie today, but a tie's not good enough. We're going to go out and win one more game.
This is the best I've ever had. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll get it for you.
Kent Herbeck was pumped up indeed. We'll have much more on the Twins coming up a bit later in sports.
All right, and they need to win one more or have Kansas City lose one more, right, Tom?
That's right.
Okay, very good. Debbie?
About 53,000 fans attended today, cheering on the Twins and sending them off to Texas in a big way. Darryl Savage was at the Dome as that big win happened.
The fans have been waiting just as long as players for this day, and the biggest crowd in Metrodome history has a lot to celebrate.
Their chances are excellent. They're going all the way this year. You got it.
These are the sights and sounds that come with at least a share of the division title, something that hasn't happened in this town since 1970.
I've been living them 17 years, and this is the best. We've waited, and it's come true finally.
It's been agonizing at times, but we're going to win it this year.
Throughout the game inside the Dome, banners were hung by fans who wanted a championship. After the game, posters were held by fans who are one game away from having one.
17 years? So, long time. So he's only 3, just turned 3. Birthday party today.
Many of the fans weren't even born when the Twins last won the American League West. It's a day for the young and old to remember. Twins fans would like to have seen them win the division today, but tying it is just fine, thank you.
All right, bag. Love it.
In the bag. It's caviar, champagne, on ice. Okay, guys.
It may have been a day without professional football games, but for a very special moment at the Metrodome, nobody cared.
#1 Twins. Hell with the Vikings.
Darryl Savage, WCCO Television News, Minneapolis.
The winning Twins board a plane this evening, headed for Dallas. They play 3 games there and then travel on to Kansas City to take on the Royals for the final 3 games of the season. And that Kansas City series begins on Friday. And as Darryl mentioned, this was the first Sunday without football since National League players took to the picket lines.
The strike is now on its 6th day. There is no end anywhere in sight. Striking Vikings were quite relaxed on the picket lines today at Winter Park in Eden Prairie. They watched as their replacements practiced for next weekend's game against the Green Bay Packers. But this has left football fans with quite a void to fill in their Sunday afternoons. Terry Sater went out today to find out how many of them are coping.
Many Minnesota Vikings fans wandered aimlessly today, bewildered over the loss of their autumn Sunday ritual. But other rituals were given more attention this morning because football fans weren't thinking about rushing home or to the stadium to watch the big game.
Spend more time with our families, and I think most people will do that. When baseball season ends, then it's going to be real slow, I'll tell you.
Some fans said it was too nice a day to be indoors in front of a TV, even if the Vikings were playing. Dick Goodermont says he would have forsaken the sunny skies several years ago to watch a Vikings game, but now he's bitter.
Since the last strike 4 years ago, I found a lot better things to do on a Sunday afternoon. I don't miss the game at all.
But some football fans just can't give up the game on Sunday. If the pros won't play, the fans will.
You know, I got to get out here and try to create my own activity instead of sit home and watch the game and hang out with some friends and we grade the football game. Now it's, you know, I'm glad that it's nice out there and we can come out and just fool around. If it was cold, then I think a lot of people would be more angry about the strike.
But for the people who depend on the televised games for their Sunday business, all this outdoor fun is a personal foul. This sports bar just opened up last week and was packed for Monday Night Football. But today's broadcast of last year's Super Bowl left the bar stools empty, and bar owners will lose thousands of dollars because fans are finding something else to do, including this Vikings season ticket holder who watched the Twins game today and says he won't watch the Scab game.
Whatever. I pay to see the first string out there. I don't seem to pay to see whatever's going to be put on the field.
Harry Sater, WCCO Television News, the Twin Cities.
And a bit later in sports, Tom Hanneman will show us how some of the other Vikings on strike spent this Sunday off the football field.
When the Weekend Report continues, a dramatic scene played out at Fort Snelling.
And at Como Park in St. Paul, parents gathered to remember the children they lost.
Renting a carpet cleaner is always an experience. You get to travel, meet people, and even exercise. But why rent when you can own the new Bissell Power Steamer? It deep cleans carpets, spills, stains, high traffic areas, even upholstery. With the new Bissell Power Steamer, carpet cleaning will never be the same.
Need some help with that?
$179.99 at Donaldson's.
The 1987 Ford pickup is a tough act to follow. So when they unveil the 88s at your Northland Ford dealers,
you won't see too many changes. Refinements, updates, sure. But you just don't mess with the best-built trucks in North America, the best-selling trucks in the world. One thing you won't find on the 88s, though, that's on the 87s right now, a closeout price.
get the best deal on the bestseller Ford full-size trucks and all the 87 closeout specials at your Northland Ford dealer right now.
The things we do to get even with our cars, just because the engine's hesitating or making funny noises, when it's so easy to bring it to Precision Tune. Precision Tune stops your engine stalling and gas guzzling with a fuel injector cleaning. So don't take it out on your car. Instead, aim for the nearest Precision Tune, the engine performance experts.
Attention, bargain hunters.
It's all over.
Finished.
Through.
Car Wars 6 made history.
Is history.
1,000 new cars and trucks gone.
Now.
1,000 clean.
Late model.
Low mileage trades are here.
Through Wednesday only.
It's used Car Wars 6.
With prices starting
at just $295.
That's right.
$295.
The place?
Minnesota State Fairgrounds, Machinery Hill.
1,000 like-new cars and trucks must be sold.
At a fraction of their original price.
It's used Car Wars.
Minnesota State Fairgrounds.
They must be sold by Wednesday.
Thursday.
They go to auction.
Used Car Wars 6.
Several hundred anti-abortion activists rallied today near the Planned Parenthood Center on Ford Parkway in St. Paul. Rally organizers say they staged this annual event to call attention to the 22,000 abortions they say have been performed at Planned Parenthood since they began picketing in 1977. Representatives of several religious denominations conducted a memorial service at today's rally.
In Como Park, parents gathered to remember the loss of a child. Those who lost a baby through miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant death tied pink and blue ribbons on a memorial tree near Como Park Conservatory. One mother who lost a daughter says the feelings of those who lost an unborn child need to be recognized.
Babies that are born are given a lot more credibility just in your relatives' eyes and in your friends' eyes, that's somehow more a life that counted. That when you have a special service like this, it's a way of saying these babies are important too.
Event organizers say that each year more than 15,000 Minnesota families lose a child before or shortly after birth. No new leads in the case of a missing Lakeland woman. This weekend, Washington County authorities conducted an air search for 26-year-old Diane Larson while friends distributed leaflets along the St. Croix Valley. Larson has not been seen in a week. Police found her car behind a bar with the trunk door slightly ajar. Authorities say that foul play might be involved because friends say that Larson is not likely to have disappeared on her own.
If there should be a national emergency, some Minnesota Army reservists would deploy to the front lines, protecting the nation's borders. And to show what they're trained to do, some reservists staged a dramatic rappelling demonstration from a helicopter at Fort Snelling. The 205th Brigade is converting to something called light fighter status. Now that means they'll be trained to respond quickly to an enemy, and in case of national emergency, would be dispatched to defend Alaska. Rappelling is one of the combat skills the 2,000 reserve members are now learning. We'll find out if fall is going to appear anytime soon.
Also just ahead, it is goodbye to the Minnesota Renaissance Festival and a run for a cause in downtown St. Paul.
How do you break every Ford sales record in the Northland?
How do you break every Subaru record?
With a sellout price on every Ford.
And Subaru, plus a sell-a-thon price on every Subaru.
And Ford. Just an example. Big, tough, full-size F-150 style side pickup with all these extras. $79.95. Only a few left at this price, so hurry.
A Subaru GL 5-speed hatchback with all these extras, just $69.88.
With the 88s coming in by the truckload, these 87s must go now.
At sell-out, sell-a-thon prices at Towsley Subaru.
And Towsley Ford,
White Bear Lake.
Stick with it. That's one thing learning to play the clarinet and band has taught me.
LeBlanc world-class instruments include Vito clarinets and saxophones and Holton brass instruments.
We got my clarinet from Schmitz. My parents like the trial plan because we can always return it. And Schmitz has lessons, music, everything you need right there.
Schmitz band and orchestra instruments backed by a tradition of service since 1896.
Band's fun. I'm glad I stuck with it.
There it is, the Giant, home of $49 down and no payments for 6 months. Just 3.5 miles north of Viking Chevrolet is Blaine Dodge, where the bottom line is a satisfied customer. At Blaine Dodge, if we can't meet or beat any price from the other guys, we'll give you $500. Blaine Dodge, 3.5 miles north of Viking Chevrolet. If you were going to call the hotline, the number's been changed to 780-9999.
Heart disease, virtually unknown among the Eskimos of Greenland. Why? Studies reveal that an oily fish diet rich in omega-3 helped reduce the buildup of fatty deposits in their arteries. If you're not eating enough of these fish, you can get the highest percentage concentration of natural omega-3 only in Promega, cholesterol-free Promega. Add it to your reduced fat dietary plan and help reduce your risk of heart disease. All natural, more omega-3, cholesterol-free.
At this hour, another year of the Renaissance Festival draws to a close near Shakopee. Today's activities featured a salute to the masters of crafts and amusements. And many visitors were given special gifts as a thank you for another fine Renaissance season. It was billed as a farewell to fall, but, Walt, I think it turned out to be more like a return to summer.
Tell you how strange this is. This is the warmest we have been since August 15th.
Way back in August.
It was a cool end of summer, actually. Is this a little unusual, though?
Yeah.
Just a little unusual. How unusual is it? Well, let's take a look at the weather guide. Let's not look at it. Let's just adore it, practically. I mean, look at this. 88 degrees. Not only is that above normal by 23, it broke the record set back in the fabulous 50s of 87, 59. Well, that's how cool it was last night. Not very compared to what it can be this time of year, 42 or 28 on the record department. No precipitation whatsoever. And the sun will keep shining for another hour or so. 80s throughout this entire region. 83 a record at Duluth. 86 at Eau Claire and at La Crosse. Broke our tide records there. This whole region is just basking in summertime. And uh-oh, what do we have? We have a front. Actually, this cold front is the reason for the warmth, in the sense that the very strong southerly winds ahead of it brought mild air into our region. But that front is sharp. It means business. It's coming through late tonight. You can see without any trouble whatsoever the clouds on that front. Thunder showers have been developing, although for the most part they've been staying away from our general vicinity. We've had to really go straining to track them. Earlier today, there were 53-mile-an-hour winds with thunderstorms in Rapid City, but all during the day, they've been up around Lake of the Woods and really mostly in Ontario or the Upper Peninsula, or have just started breaking out now along the Kansas-Nebraska border. So it's going to be late tonight before anything gets in here. Right now, the radar is completely devoid of echoes. It's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous evening. But tomorrow will be a different story, I'm afraid. We promised you one good day, and boy, did we deliver. National radar, clear through this region, although showers developing. Heavy thunderstorms through Texas, 1.5 inches around Corpus Christi, and 3 to 4 inches in southern Florida, but that's no concern of ours. Last night, it was warm through this area. 60-degree readings, typical of July, spread through much of this area, but it is cool out west. 21 this morning at McCall, Idaho. And that cool air is going to try to push in, but this front is actually going to move very slowly once it gets past us. So we're going to stay in northerly winds with a lot of clouds and showers off and on for the next 2 days. Tomorrow's highs will be, if we're lucky, in the 70s, more likely in the 60s, and it's going to get cooler for a day or two after that. But it's just gorgeous outside right now. Of course, a lot of the colored leaves are blowing off with those wind gusts of 30 miles an hour, but enjoy it. It's sunny and 85. Wonder when we'll say that again. Dew point 59, 41% the humidity, the barometer going down at 29.80. Oh, actually, it's steady, I should say. Tonight, increasing clouds, some showers later tonight, below about 61, southerly winds up to 15. Front comes in tomorrow, maybe 72 if we're lucky, otherwise variably cloudy with some scattered showers around. Monday night, mostly cloudy, periodic sprinkles, the low 53. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, a few more showers in the neighborhood, 63 only for a high, and then it's going to be seasonably cool, then warming up towards the end of the week. We might even see a temperature in the upper 30s as a chilly Pacific-type air mass moves through. So, summer, glad I knew you. Boy.
I say you won't be talking about this till about April 27th of next year.
You might be right.
Okay, thank you, Walt. It was a beautiful morning for a run through the streets of downtown St. Paul, and that's just what 500 people did today to raise money for the JCs. The proceeds from the 10-kilometer run go to the Special Olympics and to the JC's community service programs. And they could have run right onto the Metrodome and joined that record crowd watching the Twins.
Oh, it was amazing. The Metrodome right now, I don't remember having more fun than we did this afternoon. We're going to have highlights of the Twins' great win this afternoon, along with interviews and the rest of sports coming up next.
Great grab in right field. A diving, lunging grab in the corner.
You're working on your American dream, 'cause you want it to last forever. And if something is starting to show the years, you want to make it better.
Give your home new Anderson windows, 'cause when it comes to your home, nothing but the best will do.
Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson.
Available at Window Warehouse, Country Lumber, Walton Brothers Lumber, and Lyman Lumber.
Hi, Bob. New sandwich? Make me one. 3 kinds. Surprise me. Multi-grain bun? Ooh. Chicken fillet, fresh tomato, crisp lettuce, creamy mayonnaise, and the others?
Now, for a short time,
Roast beef, ham and cheese, chicken fillet.
new Supreme Specialty Sandwiches only from Hardee's, because we're out to win you over.
Bob, just one more screenful.
The Kawai Grand Piano. Perfection to the eye and ear. 104 grands and 81 verticals were specially selected by Kawai for performance at the world-famous Aspen Music Festival. These pianos are now offered at Schmidt's in many sizes and finishes, reduced $600 to $4,200. Experience the beauty and elegance of Kawai and consider what you'll save by choosing yours now. Visit your nearest Schmidt Music Center today.
Investor Savings consistently pays higher interest rates than most Twin City banks and savings and loans. Take a look. Here's what a $1,000 certificate of deposit will earn at some banks and at Investor Savings. Here's what opening a passbook account with $1,000 will get you at some banks and at Investor Savings, a full 6.25%. How does your bank rate? To find out more, look for our ad in your Sunday newspaper or call the office nearest you. Member FSLIC.
How sweet it was. Awesome, incredible, unbelievable. You pick the adjective. It doesn't matter. They all apply to the performance of the Twins and their fans at the Dome today. The Twins beat Kansas City 8-1 to lower their magic number to 1, clinching at least a tie for the Western Division title. The largest crowd to ever watch the Twins play in the Dome, 52,924, greeted the Twins with a 3-minute standing ovation. It was the first of many standing ovations at the Dome today. Bert Blyleven got into trouble early today, though. First inning, runners at the corners, no one out. George Brett lined a ground ball to Gaetti. He tossed to Al Newman for one at second. Newman then alertly went to the plate to nail Willie Wilson for the double play. Twins then put this one away in the bottom of the first. Kirby Puckett got the ball rolling with this drive, his 28th homer of the season, just out of Willie Wilson's reach. A 2-run shot. Gary Gaetti, the next man up, he delivers a monster shot, 463 feet to dead center, his 31st of the year. Bearing the ball, Don Baylor singled and sending the big guy to the plate. And you see it, Kent Herbig followed with his 34th homer right into the football press box. That's all for Charlie Liebrandt. The Twins have a 5-0 lead, and the Metrodome went crazy. Bert Blyleven got the call today with only 3 days rest. He went the distance, pitching a 5-hitter, fanning 9, including Kevin Seitzer there, en route to his 15th win of the year. Bert received some defensive help as well today. Take a look now at Tom Bernansky's catch, robbing George Brett of at least a base hit. Great catch. So it all came down to this. There's Blyleven's reaction to that defensive play. Top of the 9th, Bert strikes out Willie Wilson to end the game and clinch a tie for the American League Western Division title. A remarkable day for everyone at the Dome, and afterwards in the locker room, the players were talking about some of the derogatory statements the Royals had made in the paper this morning, statements that really psyched the Twins up today.
It got us going. There were a lot of guys in this ball club who read a lot of the stuff that was said and heard a lot of things that were said, and we took that on the field and wanted to prove everybody wrong.
I just think the feeling I noticed when I came in the clubhouse today was, you know, just enough anger about the things that were written and the things that were said by the other team that we were just really determined to do it today. And that's just, you know I felt that way, and there was an air of it around the clubhouse.
Today was just one of those special days where everybody was just so excited to play, and I'm just, the umpires were late getting out there, and we were, the fans were all excited, and like I said, it's a thrill I'll never forget. Might not get it again.
I might be dead by the time I got on the road, because I'm going to have some fun tonight before we take off and go out and have a few beers and celebrate. I might pop a champagne bottle a little soon, but I can feel it. I got plenty of fever.
Who doesn't right now? As we mentioned before, the magic number is down to 1. The Twins have clinched at least a tie for the AL Western Division title. So here's how it stacks up right now in the American League West. The Twins have a 6-game lead over Kansas City and 7 over Oakland. 6 games remain on the schedule. That means Oakland is now out of it. Tony La Russa of the A's has made reservations, we assume, this afternoon for a vacation next week. The A's might as well catch some Z's because the White Sox have put their pennant hopes to sleep. Ivan Calderon led the Sox with a pair of home runs today to a 5-0 win at Oakland, thus eliminating the A's from the Western Division race. The Twins, of course, only have to worry about Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Detroit Tigers, they avoided a 4-game sweep at Toronto with a 3-2 win in 13 innings. Kirk Gibson came up with a clutch RBI with 1 out. Detroit narrowed the gap with Toronto to 2.5 games. In the National League, Phil Niekro closed out his tremendous career back where he started in 1959 with the Braves. Niekro left his farewell performance in the 5th with a 5-2 lead. Next batter, Candy Molinado, hit a grand slam, though, to give the Giants a 6-5 lead. They went on to a 15-6 win to clinch a tie of the National League Western Division pennant. St. Louis lead in the East is down to 2.5 over the Mets. The Cards lost to the long ball batch of the Cubs. Andre Dawson hit his 47th of the year. Cubs have a National League high 203 home runs this season now. Well, today's Vikings game and all the other NFL games, of course, were canceled by the players' strike, which is now 6 days old. Next week's game against the Packers, however, will be played, possibly by this group, which went through day 2 of their workouts at Winter Park. The replacement players were watched from afar by some of the striking Vikings. Tommy Kramer found other ways to spend his football-free Sunday, though.
Haven't been to a church in 10 years on the Sunday during the season, so I went today, first time in a long time, and it was, it's nice to be with the family, but I'd much rather be out playing football somewhere.
Well, Kramer also spent some time out on the golf course with wide receiver Jim Gustafson. This kind of competition may be easier on their bodies, but they'd trade the golf clubs for shoulder pads, you know it, in a minute.
So I just really hope the strike ends soon and we get back to playing football. This golf, you know, you can only win a little money, I guess, and I'd much rather take the football paycheck than TK's money.
You better believe no one was talking about the NFL strike at the Metrodome.
Oh, I guess not.
The only story in town. They're in Texas tomorrow night. We will be there, of course, to bring you highlights and, of course, the celebration, we hope, when they wrap up the Western Division title.
Now, presumably, they're going to have Detroit or Toronto, probably Toronto to face.
Looks that way right now.
I don't want to look too far ahead, but have they talked about the Blue Jays and how tough they are?
Well, I don't think no one has talked about the Blue Jays yet because it is the one-day-at-a-time theory, which has worked. No doubt that the players are watching the game in the clubhouse yesterday and thinking about it, and there's supposedly this huge hex. We've had problems with Toronto, but given what the Twins have done this season, I can't help believing they're going to go into it with fresh thoughts, and you can't look at the hex when you go into the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, you know,
doesn't mean anything.
Toronto has a tendency to run out of gas at the end of the season. They did against Kansas City a couple of years ago, and they lost their playoff then.
We're not going to worry about them, though.
No, that'll be another week or so.
That's right.
Onward to Texas.
Very good. Thank you, Tom.
You bet.
Many Minnesotans are preparing for the day that the Twins become the division champs. In Minnetonka today, fans put the finishing touches on a 5-story high banner celebrating the Twins' eventual win in the American League West. WCCO Television, WCCO Radio, and Dayton Hudson Corporation helped sponsor that banner that will be hoisted up the Fauché Tower in Minneapolis once the Twins clinch that division title.
And here's a question for you. Do you remember this guy? Sure, he's Ed Norton, played by Art Carney in the classic TV series The Honeymooners. You'll recall that Ed Norton played a sewer worker, and that's probably as much as these people knew about sewer workers until they attended the open house at a wastewater treatment plant in Eagan today. The event featured an Ed Norton look-alike contest, and here is the winner. He got a video cassette recorder for being the winning look-alike. People also got a chance to tour the plant and learn about sewage work and wastewater treatment.
No Ralph Cramden look-alike.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He sort of looks like Ed Norton a little bit.
We leave you tonight with another look at the big day at the Dome, and we'll see you at 10.